What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I hope you like this video. This is your review for Power Book 3, Raising Kanan, Season 3, Episode 4. All right. So we start this episode off. We got one of Kanan's, runners running from the cops. Okay, and he didn't make it. Okay, he didn't. He thought he got away, but he didn't. And shout out to them playing 100 Miles and Running by NWA, because that was hilarious. Anyway, um, Kanan gets Lou to help him get the boy out of lockup. Okay, young man, young whatever, out of lockup. Now nowadays, weed is not a big deal. Okay, it wouldn't be an issue, but back then, baby, people was getting life sentences for weed, and Kanan was acting like it wasn't a big deal. And Lulu know that he on that bull hockey because Kanan done made up some lie about, oh, it's a friend of his, he trying to help him out, he ain't got no family, I'm looking out. Lulu know it's some bull hockey, okay, but Lou gonna always be there for Kanan in the middle of his what, okay? Now, while this is going on, Rock is down to the place buying up the block. And I do mean buying up the block. I thought Rock was just buying the hair salon. She bought the whole plaza, okay? I ain't mad at you, Rock. But, child, she paid cash. She didn't bring her own broker. That should be a red flag. But again, a lot of laws were put in place post these drug days. I know what y'all gonna say when I say what I'm getting ready to say. The people that always accuse me of knowing way too much about the drug deal and the drug business is gonna say stuff in the comments, but I'm gonna just say what I'm gonna say. Back in the day, the drug dealers back in the day, like, they was going to car dealerships and just paying cash for cars, right? They wasn't getting no financing and none of that other stuff. And there've been a lot of things put in place now to try to stop so much of these cash transactions. So it's feasible that back in the 80s when this took place, or 90s, I don't even know what year we in anymore. It's feasible that Rock might have been able to, fly under the radar, but nowadays it wouldn't go down like this. But neither here nor there. Well, without greasing a whole lot of people's palms. I ain't saying it can't happen. Anything can happen. But while Rock is, basking in the glow of all that she's doing and trying to legitimize herself, which you can't be mad at Rock for wanting to be legit. Very ghost reminiscent, right? But she see her realtor talking to the two cops outside. So, of course, piques her interest. She rolls up on the cops. She's like, what's up? What can I do you for, officers? And they were like, oh, we heard that you just bought up the block. We just want to let you know that we're just your friendly neighborhood police officer, and we're here to help you. And basically, it was a whole shakedown. They let her know that, if you take care of us, we'll take care of you. And if you don't take care of us, I don't know, some things might happen. Danger might come your way. This whole episode, Ronnie is looking for work, okay? So the first people he go to see is Ishmael and his wife. From what we can tell, Ishmael used to be the plug. Him and his wife are now retired, but they're still basically the people to go see when you need a little bit of help, you need some direction, maybe need a little loan, little something. So Ronnie is talking to them, and they basically are letting him know, look, if Unique told you to chill out because he's trying to get some things in place, then maybe you need to chill out and let Unique figure out and let you know what's going on. Ronnie was like, F Unique. I ain't trying to wait on Unique. I don't want to hear nothing Unique got to say. I want this work, and I want it today. So they tell him, listen, we can float you a little loan. We ain't really got nothing to give you because we retired, but we can float you a loan, but we expect our money back plus interest because, we are retired. So we need our money when we need our money. So Ronnie spends the rest of this episode, we're going to get to that a little bit later on, child, but he spends the rest of this episode looking for work. Now, it is clear that these people tolerate Ronnie, not so much like Ronnie. And I can't figure out if it's fear or just we ain't really trying to with him. You know what I'm saying? I ain't quite figured it out yet, but they definitely were not happy to see him. I mean, they played it off and they had the conversation, and business is going to always be business. But let's be clear. They weren't happy to see that, bruh. Now, while this is going on, Unique is down talking to his boy down to the Chinese spot, and, he's saying, look, my cousin told me you're not really making no money. My cousin told me you ain't bringing no people in like you said you were. Like, what's going on? And Unique was like, look, I need some time to let the people know that's my spot. Like, you got me working out of a Chinese restaurant, so I gotta first let my people know where I am. Then I gotta convince my people that it's cool, that it's legit, that they can come and get what they need to get. So you gonna have to give me time to get this whole situation set up, like get off my back. And basically he said, listen, either you trust me to do it, or we can go ahead and end this partnership right now, because I'm telling you I need time. Like, it's gonna happen, it's gonna work. But if you're gonna be on my back, I can't do nothing. I can't work like this. So of course the guy was like, look, I'm gonna give you a little bit of time. I'm gonna give you a little bit of time to figure all of this out. Okay? Now while this is going on, Marvin done made his way down to the he done made his way down to the paper where what the man name was, Gene. I'ma just say Gene. I think his name was Gene, but if it wasn't Gene, it's Gene right now until I remember what his name was. But he go down there to the paper because remember he got his credentials off of him when he got beat up down to the spot. And again, not really sure what Marvin's angle is, but I'm pretty certain it's not what he said it was. We know that he is he's an editor for this particular paper in the arts and entertainment section. We find that out. So I don't know if maybe Marvin is trying to get an angle for Jukebox. Again, it's Marvin, so I know there is an angle. I just ain't figured out what the angle is yet. I'm not that smart to understand what he's trying to do. But we do see later on in the conversation, both of them realize that they are missing what Renee gave them. Like, Marvin really has become a better person, right? And Gene is definitely needing what Renee can give him, because he said, listen, I got anger management and I'm an alcoholic, and that's just that ain't a good mix. So like, I really need that in my life. And so Marvin was like, well, listen, let's be there for each other. Like, let's create our own support group. You support me and I support you, because I agree. Like, I miss Renee too, and I kind of need that in my life. So again, I think there's a bigger picture there. Just don't see it yet. When I figure it out, I'll let y'all know. While this is going on, child, we see down at the precinct, the FBI decided they want to talk to Detective Howard. And they let Detective Howard know, look, this whole Crown angle, it just ain't working for us. Like, far as we can tell, this dude wasn't detailed enough, smart enough, connected enough to be running this intricate plot that they got us thinking that he was running down to the projects. Not one project building, but two projects building. And he was running that money through this studio that was damn near bankrupt. Like, we don't see it happening. Now, the one thing that Detective Howard said was, well, you know, that's what they're doing these days. Like, the record company is the new way they're laundering their money. They get a record company and they run their money through it. Now, that part he ain't lie about. And, we know. We know. I have a question, though. Wouldn't it have been better for them to set Cartier up for this fall? Like, they took Cartier out at the same time that they took out Crown. I mean, even though Lulu technically took out Crown. Like, but wouldn't it have been better for them to, because Cartier definitely was connected. Cartier had to have been on somebody's radar in law enforcement. Like, wouldn't that have, I don't know. I don't remember all the intricate details of last season, but it seemed to me like Cartier would have been the person that they would have put all this on, and it would have been a little more believable than Crown. But okay. So Detective Howard does the best he can to try to convince them that that's the direction that they should be moving in. I don't think he was too pushy or too overt, but I don't think they was necessarily buying that Howard didn't know more than what he was saying either. Of course, I don't think they believe that he's as connected to it as he is, but they definitely feel like he knows more than what he's saying. And on his way out the door, they asked him, well, what about your shooting? Any more information? And he was like, yeah, no, it's a whole lot of rumors and theories, but nah, I don't really have nothing. And they were just kind of like, all right then. So Howard knows that they still lurking, okay? Now, while this is going on, Jukebox has gone down there and having her physical, okay, for the Army. Now, I'm not sure because obviously I've never joined the military. So I don't know, like, does that mean that she already signed the paperwork, or is her paperwork just pending? Because I know there's a certain point of no return. Like, once you sign the paperwork, I know that, like, you can't change your mind at that point. But I don't know if that's before or after she takes her physical. And that's important because we find out that she made it into the girl group. And they getting ready to, they getting ready to make this thing happen. So I found we'll get back to the girl group later, but I'm just not sure the timeline. But because they keep showing us her getting ready to go to the army for a reason. So we'll get to that. Now, while this is going on, Unique girlfriend then confronted her based off of what Ronnie done said, talking about something. So you got a girl? You got a girl? And Unique was like, bruh, I'm just trying to eat my sandwich. It was so funny because he was sitting there and he really was just trying to eat his sandwich. Now, Unique, you really made yourself look guilty because you wouldn't lie to her, which really made it even worse because she was like, you're not telling me no. You gone all hours of the night. I never know where you are anymore. So what's good? Baby, Unique ends up getting up and leaving that sandwich on the table and walking right back out the door. Like, I can't do this. Like, he said, all you need to worry about is that you taking care of and the baby's taken care of. All the rest of this, I can't do. I can't do. Now, while this is going on, Rockton went down to the school to see Kanan because, child, that's the only time she can catch Kanan. And she peeps that Kanan is, got new friends. I'm sure she doesn't know the whole detail, but she knows enough to realize that Kanan is into some stuff, right? And I mean, and also she knows that Kanan is into some stuff because Kanan ain't asking her for nothing. The fact that Kanan has not come back home with his tail tucked between his legs, and the fact that he doesn't need anything from her, that I think is bothering her more than anything else, because at the end of the day, I think she always felt like he'll be back because he needs me, but he doesn't. So she's peeping that he's, hanging out with the guys on the little scooters, and she peeping it. But she also peeped that Kanan got to go through the metal detector to get into school. And as soon as I saw that, I said, here we go. Because, of course, we saw in the previews last week that somebody put a weapon in his book bag. And we had a whole debate over on the panel last week. I wasn't there last week because I was out of town, and they had a whole debate about who put the weapon in the boy book bag. And I thought all along it was Rock, because for the exact reason why she did it. But we'll get to that. Now, while this is going on, Ronnie goes to visit Dean. Y'all remember Dean? Dean to be down at the bingo hall with his grandmama, and he be doing business out of the bingo hall. Y'all remember Dean? Now, also remember Dean got ran out of Jamaica, Queens by, the people that Unique and Rock was working with. And, he thought Unique was a snitch. Like, remember that whole thing that went down? So he lets Dean know, first of all, what you doing here. Second of all, if you're Unique's brother, I don't have no business with Unique, and I ain't got no business with you. So he's like, look, I need some work. And Dean was like, again, I don't think you understand what I'm telling you. I'm not giving you nothing. So Ronnie yokes up Dean, and of course Dean's bodyguard rolls up, puts a weapon to his belly, and lets him know you need to exit. And Dean lets him know, look, I don't tell you what to do. Like, you don't tell me what to do. I tell you what to do. And I'm telling you, I'm not giving you no work. And I don't deal with you or your brother. So I knew then Dean was in trouble. Because Ronnie is a serial killer. I knew Dean was in trouble. So we head down to Marvin and Juke's house. And we see this lady roll up out of her Mercedes Benz. The lady from the audition. Well, she rolling up on Jukebox. Come to find out, she been trying to call Jukebox, but ain't nobody answering the phone. Probably because neither one of their asses is ever home. And this was before, even though didn't Marvin have a cell phone? But I guess he wouldn't have gave out his cell phone to the audition people. Anyway, come to find out, Juke done made it into the group. So they're in there, getting all the details. Marvin is getting all the details. And I love what Marvin said. Because, again, it just shows how far Marvin and Jukebox relationship has gone. Marvin said, listen, I don't want y'all trying to change her. Juke is who she is. And you knew what he meant by that. Like, she's a tomboy. She gonna wear her braids. She gonna wear her Timbs. Like, stop trying to, I'm not gonna have y'all come in here and try to turn her into something she's not. And the lady was like, "Oh no, we want her just the way she is. Like, we're creating a formula. We have the diva, we got the girl next door, and now we got the tom girl, the tomboy, whatever. Very total like." But anyway, back over to the hood with Famous and Kanan. Come to find out, business is so good with the courier guy that his real courier service is suffering because none of either his drivers left because they don't want to have no part of the drug business, or they don't want to do his deliveries. They want to do Kanan's deliveries because, of course, Kanan is paying them way more money than what they're getting paid when they do a regular delivery. And dude was like, "Listen, I need to still make money. You told me I'd be making more money than I knew what to do with, but I'm actually losing money because my real business is suffering fooling with you. And at the end of the day, when you're gone, I still need to be able to make money." And Kanan was like, "What you mean when I'm gone? I'm not going nowhere." And old boy just looked at him like, "Yeah, okay, bruh." So Kanan gives him some money, but he was like, "Look, this is cool for now, but again, in the long run, I need to be able to make my money." So later on in that evening, Kanan leaves. Rock is outside. Rock goes into the apartment. We see the FBI is still out there taking pictures of her. He goes into the apartment. Now we see Famous doing something we haven't seen Famous do since, hell, I think the beginning of season 2, which is actually try to write some damn raps. Shocked me too. So Rock goes into the apartment. Of course, Famous is scared as hell because Kanan done told him, "Don't let my mother back up in here or it's going to be a problem between me and you." So Rock says, "Listen, what y'all got going on up in here?" So she goes over to, she finds Kanan's book bag, goes over to his book bag, ends up putting a gun in his book bag. And of course, Famous is like, "Yo, what are you doing? Whoa, whoa, whoa." And she said, "Listen, this is family business. Don't get involved in family business." And she ends up giving Famous some money for his silence. Now Famous takes the money, but he don't want to. But it was really, an offer he couldn't refuse type situation. Now here's where I got an issue. I understand that Rock said don't get involved in family business, but it is no way in the world that I'm letting my boy walk out of that house with a gun in his book bag. And him not know about it. Like, I'm not doing it. Now, I understand that Rock would have probably figured out but all Kanan had to say, because, I mean, the reality is, wouldn't the weight of your bag have changed? The reality is, wouldn't you go in your book bag from time to time to look for something? So it's not just because Kanan might have found the weapon doesn't mean that Famous told him. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Ain't nowhere in the world I'd have let my partner walk out the door like that. But okay, y'all, all right then. So we see Kanan roll up on Jukebox and tell her, congratulations and all of that. And he said, "Listen, I'm taking you out to dinner. I'm taking you to B. Smith's." Y'all, listen, that immediately took me back. I used to love B. Smith's. There was a B. Smith's in Union Station. And I used to love, what was it called? It was called Swamp Thing, I think it was. It was like collard greens with scallops or something. I don't know, but that used to be my jam whenever I went. And, shout out to B. Smith. I know that, she ended up having Alzheimer's and all of that, but shout out to B. Smith. Anyway, Juke was like, "How you got money for some B. Smiths?" And he was like, "I've been saving up for a rainy day, but you can't say no because I done already made the reservation." So they ended up going to dinner. And again, it was one of those scenes that made you be like, damn. Because you know where this ends. You know what I'm saying? But they were sitting there talking about how much they love each other and how much, they want this for each other and how they just want each other to win. And you can see how proud Kanan is of her. And, like, it's genuine. Like, it's really genuine. And, again, it just make you feel some kind of way because you know how it ends. And if you didn't look at the original Power and you don't know how it ends, then I ain't gonna tell you, but we know how it ends. Anyway, we see Lulu with Marvin. Lulu is apologizing to Marvin, and Marvin is mad about it. But Lulu said, listen, I know that I effed up. I know that I wasn't there, and you know that I would never disappoint my niece. Like, you know I wouldn't. He was like, I don't want to get into all the details of what happened, but just know that I'm sorry, and I know I screwed it up. But then Lulu convinces Marvin to go down to the club with him to show him, the club. So they go down to the club and they meet up with the owner. And once again, she reiterates, that she had love for their father, and how she's really glad that Lulu's gonna help her with the space. Well, come to find out, Marvin is looking for a place to invest. And she was like, oh, well, I mean, I ain't know y'all was down here to talk an investment. She said, but to be honest with you, I really only see me doing this for another couple of years. And I would love to have somebody that I could pass it on to that, is going, she said, and, it definitely needs some help around here, And Marvin was like, yeah, because this place does look like a little dump. Marvin don't know how to, he don't mince no words. And there's a space in the back that Lulu said he could turn into, his studio. And Marvin says, listen, I'm in. Like, I'm in. I want to invest, Now, Marvin is looking at it as a place to wash his money. Lulu says, listen, let me have this. Like, please, I don't, I really don't want to be in the game. I don't want no parts of that. So please, let this place be a safe space and a free zone. And Marvin reluctantly agrees. Again, I think right now he means it. I don't know if he's going to be able to keep that promise, but I think he means it on the front end. So then we see Rock and Unique. And Unique, Dean done called Unique and said, basically, Dean said, come get your brother. Like, I feel like that's the phone call was Dean saying, bruh, come get your brother. Like, he tripping. And Unique is trying to figure out what to do about his brother. And, Rock was like, find something for him to do. And Dean was like, there's nothing for him to do. Like, I need, like, he has a very specific skill set. And I ain't found no way to plug him in yet. Later on, we see Rock tell Unique that basically this is the end of the road. She said, listen, Kanan gonna be coming home soon. And I told Kanan I was out the game, so I can't have nothing that looked like I'm still in the game. So he was like, I get it. I understand. Let's get one more for the road. So, they do what they do. Now, while this is going on, Ronnie done crept up on Juliana and her cousin because Dean told Ronnie where Unique was getting his work from. So Ronnie is rolling up on them. And, of course, they like, whoa, bro. Well, who are you? And he says, look, I'm Unique's brother. So they let him know, listen, we don't, your brother really ain't loved around here. So we're not interested. He wants to do work with them. He said, we're not interested. Thanks, but no thanks. And, that's a wrap. But him and Juliana is it Juliana, Julia? Y'all know who I'm talking about. They sort of make eye contact, right? But it seems to me that Ronnie should have figured out that Unique is in some ish. And maybe he needs to double back to Unique and really sit down and have a conversation and be like, yo, bro, what the F is going on? You went to Dean. Well, first you went to Ishmael, who was clearly somebody you used to work with or work under. Because you talked about how much money you made for him. So, and he told you, if Unique said he's trying to work it out, you need to sit back and let Unique work it out. Then you go to Dean, who, again, knows who you are, and you clearly used to do business with him, and he tells you, I don't want to have nothing to do with you or your brother. Your brother is persona non grata around here, and you got to go. Then you roll up to the people that you found out were his supplier, his current supplier, and they tell you the same thing. At that point, you might need to regroup and go back to your brother and be like, bruh, you have, what the, but okay. Now, while this is going on, Kanan try to go to school, and of course they find the weapon in his book bag. Rock comes down to the school, and she puts on an Oscar award-winning performance as a disappointed mother. Howard, of course, put in a phone call to make sure that he doesn't get arrested, which, of course, was what he should have happened to him bringing a weapon on school property. But basically, he gets let off with a little bit with being under supervised watch down to social services, where they're gonna, make a home visit, make sure that he's on a, coming home like he should, and he's living a straight and narrow. They're gonna be investigating him and Rock, and they told him basically, if you, basically if you end up getting out of line, your mother could be actually catching a charge. So of course that's exactly what Rock wanted. I'm sure she set it all up. We know she called Howard, because we find out later on she called Howard. And she gets Kanan back home. He ain't gonna stay there. Listen. You can take the horse to water, but you can't make him drink. That boy ain't staying in that house. He probably ain't gonna stay there the whole night. But neither here nor there. He got a nice room. She got a nice thing set up waiting for him. All of that. Now while this is going on, Jukebox meets her new group members. The diva was the one that basically told everybody she was gonna make it in the group, and of course the girl next door is the girl she was flirting with in the bathroom. Got the little chapstick the mint from, or whatever. We find out that old girl let it be known, the lady that signed all of them let it be known, listen, we are putting together this group. You guys are going to, this is basically the boot camp is starting today. We're going to get y'all ready to perform before the top music execs in the industry. And if everything goes well within the next 6 months, you guys are going to be touring and be top of the charts. If it doesn't go well, then y'all are the baby that should have never been born. And that is what it is. She lets them know, I don't really care about your attitudes. I don't really care about how talented you are. I don't care about what you like and what you don't like. I am your alpha and your omega, okay? So we'll see how this works out. And again, I'm not sure how this is going to work out with Jukebox. Did she already sign the paperwork? Don't know. So then, this is the last thing, because this is a long, well, no, it's the next, no, it's not. Damn, we got a lot. This was a lot happening in this episode. So while this is going on, Unique confronts Ronnie about the fact that he done went to Dean and he going around town trying to get work behind his back. Now he ends up telling Dean, listen, because Dean won't admit to it. Dean gonna lie to him talking about something. I ain't seen Dean. I don't know what you're talking about. I ain't seen Dean in however many weeks. However many years. And Unique was like, you know what? You ain't shit. Now I thought in that moment he was going to do something to Unique, but he didn't. But what he did do was, he went creeping up on Dean down to his house. Now, I understand that Dean was at his grandmama's house, but how Dean don't have nobody on the door? Now, it looked like Ronnie snuck in through the basement. But Dean, why you ain't got no people in that house? Why you don't have no security, bodyguard, whatever, associates or whatever? Because it seemed to me like it was way too easy for Ronnie to roll up on you, bruh. But Ronnie did. Left Dean laying in the floor with the knife on the table. Now, this time he did remember to wear gloves, okay? And poor grandma, she didn't have her hearing aid in, so she didn't hear nothing. Now, while this was happening, Detective Howard was letting Rock know, look, I can't keep calling in these favors for you. Because at some point in time, like, it's going to be too obvious. I can't keep doing this. But the feds are not buying the story about Crown, so they still got a radar on you. And if they got a radar on you, they're going to have a radar on Kanan. So I'm going to need you to chill out. I'm going to need you to get him in line. And I'm going to need y'all to get all of this stuff in order, okay? I'm going to need y'all to get all this stuff in order. Now, Kanan, we see him looking from the window. Now, how much of that conversation he heard, I'm not sure. But he definitely saw Detective Howard and his mama meeting up in the backyard, okay? So anyway, that was the episode, child. That was a whole lot that went down in this episode. But that was the episode. Let me know what you guys think. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.